Recording. Welcome to, do I need to join the Zoom meeting?
Should be. There should be no seconds. Yeah.
Okay, it just gave an ID number, but it looks like everything's
I
good.
believe, yeah, you're good to go.
Okay.
Audio's working.
Just working out our technology here. Welcome to the July 15th, 2026 meeting of the City of Knox Redevelopment Commission. In accordance with Indiana open meeting law, we do have all members present. We have a quorum. Would invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, call this meeting to order. Do we have any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, the minutes were emailed. If everyone's had a chance to review those, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our June 17th, 2026 meeting.
I'll make a motion. Okay. I'll make a motion.
Okay, a motion by Marcia, and did you want to second that, Mike? And a second by Mike to approve the meeting minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved unanimously. Real quick, our next agenda item is Sunnyside Estates update. Mayor, anything new over there?
No, there's no update on that.
Okay, we're just keeping that on the agenda so that we don't lose track of it, but not really expecting any significant updates at this time. Next up, parking lot demolition update. We had approved that at our last
You have
meeting.
approved that, and I have not prepared the proposal yet. That will be next week. I just been way too busy to concentrate on that, so I will get them out next week.
Okay, very good. And the facade grant application update, I can speak to that. Earl and I met yesterday Monday, I'm sorry. We met Monday with a potential applicant for the facade grant program as per our new guidelines, where they have a pre-submission meeting with representatives from the RDC. Went over everything. They are finalizing, obtaining their 2 necessary quotes for the work they want to have done and getting that ready to submit, and hope to be at the August RDC meeting to get our blessing for the work they want to do. I had suggested that they turn that into City Hall at least a week prior to the meeting so Peg can send it out to all of us to review. But unless you've heard from anyone else, Mayor, we only just have the one potential applicant this year. So that's where we are with that. And then the next item of business is the next steps for 18 South Main Street.
Well, we're supposed to have a public input meeting. I don't see where the council and the RDC should have a joint work session. The first two hasn't really accomplished much. So it's up to you guys whether you want to, how you want to work the public input. Yeah, or do you want to put a survey, some type of a survey out on WKBI where they can, just do an online survey with this. And if that's the case, then we will have to come up with different, survey. You have different options that they can pick.
That's the only way we can get it out through WKBI?
What I can tell you right now, one thing we found out, usually you have better results with an online survey than, if you have, it's easy for people to get on WKBI and do the survey.
That's why we get on WKBI and go on, do the survey?
I mean, if they could put something on their
WKBI
website.
will work with us, and you go to WKBI and it'll have the story there, and then it'll have click on the survey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can do both, you can do one, but, I just feel right now RDC is gonna have to lead the way on this.
I feel like an online survey will get us probably the best response. rather than asking people to come to an actual meeting.
Sure.
I mean, I'll defer to the rest of you as to what you might think about that, but I think people are more inclined to just take a few minutes to complete a survey than they are to take time to come to a meeting and offer input.
I agree.
But we're just doing Main Street, right? So what about me hand delivering every month? It's just up and down Main Street, right? Just up and down Main Street.
For what? Survey?
Yeah, handing out surveys so they get it and they fill it out.
You gotta do the whole town.
I was gonna say, this is,
Main Street, mean,
I was gonna say, if you want to canvass all of Knox, I'll let you.
I've done that before.
But
I think we just doing, okay.
no, that's the facade grant, it's just the Main Street area, but
Could we even tie that into the City of Knox website, that they could fund the survey then also?
You can put that survey on Knox website. You can put it on, I think WKBI will work with us to do the
Okay.
survey. You can have it on different, it doesn't really matter.
Maybe if you wait and get it on the water or the bills. Like they put a lot of different notes. This is coming up.
You mean with the city?
I mean, I can tell you right now, when we did the survey for the chickens, we mailed it out, the survey.
That makes sense.
We didn't get,
Yeah, the response was,
my response was 25% maybe, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
25% out of all those millions.
and what was the cost on that to mail it out? I mean, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that, I think it's $600-700. It ended up costing us. Went through someplace, I can't remember where it was, but so it doesn't matter which way we do it. I would think online is the best, easiest, fastest. And then you can have a public one. You can have a public one and then follow through with the online, or have the online and then a public one.
I would start with online so we can kind of winnow down what people are thinking. And then just for the sake of full transparency and input, we can have an in-person meeting if people want to come in, share their thoughts and ideas. I want to be as inclusive as possible and give people an opportunity to weigh in and offer their thoughts. So I would be good with that.
Yeah, and here's what I would like to do, because I think, it's gonna cost some money. I don't know how much, but I really think that we need, like initial was like a courtyard, a third of a courtyard, and then the back half, some pop-up stores. I think we need to get a hold of an architect, draw that up. If we're gonna do a public one.
Mhm.
Here's one.
So that, yeah.
And then just give the public just a couple different, saying this is what we're looking at. This is what it could look like, but we want your input. You might
Yeah.
have a totally better concept than what we have. But
Absolutely.
they need something to.
Yeah, something visually.
Something to visualize and say,
Right.
hey, looks good on that lot or something more.
Sure.
No, good point.
I think that's a great idea, a rendering, just to give people a visual of, this is the area, this is a proposed layout, this is what we're looking at here. I think that's a good place to start. Who would you recommend to have do something like that, some sort of a layout or a rendering or something?
Well, I mean, there's like Abermarch Engineering, they have a really good architectural division. I think JPR has one,
That's probably just something that basic would fall under the threshold of where we'd need to get. Do we just need a couple quotes for that, or is it a nominal enough amount we could just pick one?
you could probably pick one. That's not something that you have to get proposal on, not unless it, maybe it's more than I think, I don't know. But I can't see, them just, They got a cat program. I mean,
No.
Right, I wouldn't think for something preliminary, it would be a significant
so.
amount.
I mean, I'll get a hold of Avamarsh. I mean, I've been through each engineer companies that we have used. I think Avamarsh, is probably what it looks like they do, the more of the, architectural, parts and all that stuff.
And it wouldn't take that, I mean, it's not that big of a project that it would take long to draw something up.
Right. I would imagine they could have a pretty quick turnaround on something.
Mhm.
So
My granddaughter up here, she could do
do we want to,
it. She can.
you had mentioned a courtyard with some pop-up stores.
Well, that's just
That's one idea.
that's-
Do we have any other ideas that we want to toss out? Or I guess, am I getting the cart before the horse? Do we want to ask for public input first and then, okay, take a few of these ideas and get some renderings? What are our steps?
Well, I think we need something that they can visually look at on that lot and then use their own imagination. This is just a footprint. This is just what it could look like.
Yeah, I think
But we want we want people's ideals, different input and all that. I mean, we've had 2 work sessions and what have we come up with? What have we come up with?
Not a whole lot. And
Green grass and put it up for sale.
I think we should do it, advertise first. Get your advertisement out there, everybody get aware of it, and then have a public meeting as soon as possible.
I think at the very least to let people know, put your thinking caps on. What would you like to see on this, in this space? And then I would start with a survey before a public meeting. And, on the website, we can always share images of some of these renderings, different things. So I guess our next step would be for you, Mayor, to reach out to Avamarsh and ask them if they can help us conceptualize some things. Give them the details of the space in which we're talking, get that together, and then I feel like rather than just leave it an open-ended question and say to people, well, what do you want? I feel like we need to give them some options. So what is everyone thinking as far as options? Does anything come immediately to mind? I like the idea of some pop-up stores and, a courtyard, perhaps some outdoor seating maybe.
The concept is that whatever we put in there has to entice people to come to downtown. That's what it's about. Now, it is a couple pop-up stores that are seasonable, like everybody's seen Green, but they brought in sheds. But they're only open, the more I read, they're open on the weekend, that's it. Saturday, Sunday. I don't think they're year round either. I don't think they're year round.
And that wouldn't hurt, I mean, why
No.
would,
So,
if we don't care, I mean, if it's something that would be popular in the fall, that would be good, I mean, we don't have to have it all year,
no,
right? Yeah,
no. And that's what I'm saying. You get out and walk, as my brother Mike did, a lot bigger than what it looks like getting,
When you get started.
a lot out
the
there.
lot is, it's a lot bigger space, a lot more space than what you think until you get out there and walk it. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're gonna put a small courtyard in, you'll want where you can have a 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece band playing every Friday night, from blah, 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 blah. You'll want to put, your, I don't know how the insurance company would treat this, but a lot of places have it now is outside fire pits. Where you can sit around the fire pit, nice fall, have a little band playing.
That's a nice idea.
And having your, Coke. or
And-
Pepsi.
And a lot of those fire pits are propane. You don't necessarily have open flames.
Yeah,
And I think that would be a great addition and
but see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think we need to have a more supply. Just give us a picture of that.
give us an
Give
idea.
us a picture of that, and then, and then, the entryway will have the arch, it's just not gonna be like it is.
So neat.
Entry to the courtyard, and then behind the courtyard would be your 2 little pop-ups or 3 or whatever. Give us a picture of that, and then something else, whatever we can think of besides that, a different concept. And that way, when we have our public, or even on, we can put them images on the city website or, whatever. To get people to start thinking, because I mean, a lot of people are, I mean,
You know what I'm
sometimes they
thinking,
can't visualize.
you know what I'm thinking about though is the entrepreneurs. Of having, okay, they're gonna put up a location that maybe I do wanna go ahead and open up a new store or expand my store. And whatever building that we would construct over there for a pop-up store could be something like a shell that the inside now is extremely movable.
Mhm.
Of, when we do the walls and so forth on the inside, that we've got a tenant already that has signed up for it, here's how many square feet that they need, so this is where the walls would go. And like what you were saying, up above now, you could either have residential or could have some type of a smaller commercial office. That would be an attorney, whatever, that could have the space or have it be residential.
Well, as you said about the Freeman, those little, you could have maybe 2 or 3 of them. And if you're gonna have something starting in like maybe August or September, you could have somebody that's selling fallen winter, things.
And maybe we just take one of those spaces that we use sort of like they do a kiosk in the mall.
Yeah,
That people can come in and come out of it, depending upon the seasonal things that they do or what have you.
right.
So it'd be a short-term rental for maybe
Right.
3-4 months
Right.
for the Christmas season, for the summer season, for whatever.
I mean, there's not a place in town that sells like, if you wanna get apples and
Right.
cider or, any of that kind of stuff, you could have a little, something, have a stand there and they could.
Because I
That
think-
would bring people in, I think.
I believe that there is a substantial group out there that is a seasonal retailer
Mhm.
that isn't in the business that they can make a year-round commitment to paying a rent because their business is seasonal, like I said. So maybe we have this designed with kind of a shell. This is what the facade would sort of look like. This is about how many square feet would be in this facility that we could turn into either permanent, store and still keep something that could be sort of like a kiosk that is inside that would be for seasonal rentals. And who knows, that seasonal rental, could go ahead and suddenly, we're doing dried flowers for whatever, and the next thing you know, maybe we should have Christmas candles too, and now it turns into a real store.
Mhm.
I was thinking about a flea market too. One of my ideas, and where I live, I can go about 10 minutes and a couple of my neighbors. Somebody went into this kind of a small mall that went out and they made it into a flea market. And the guy that bought it then divided it into little spaces and it's packed. You can't even get in it. My neighbor got in there because he knew the owner before he actually did it. But that place is busy every day. Every time I go down there, there's people there. And you don't have to be there. They got one person in charge.
Right, exactly.
They just take the money, collect, they rotate people, but you don't have to be there to sell your own stuff, which I kind of like, because that was different.
Well, again, I agree with the mayor that I think that having some visual as far as this property is going to be developed by our group, and we get that off the table first, and we start really publicizing it so other people can see, entrepreneurs can see and say, hey, look, I've been wanting to do something over in this area. And now here's an opportunity. I want to make that phone call and initiate that discussion.
You know,
Because you could have, that's just like with farmers markets in general.
Right.
They don't seem to go well here, other places they do, but, I can see, especially when the fruits come in and all that. Somebody had
Absolutely.
taken a little part of that and, you're out of the weather. You have your
Absolutely.
fruits come in, you're downtown, you go buy your, that's seasonable.
Right.
Then come Christmas time, somebody brings in your Christmas candles, your stuff,
Exactly.
and
I would not like to see the whole structure being that, but at least have that available for, like this florist over here with the way that she's doing and the way that she seems to be expanding with other things. Now that's gone from, we're going to do a few weddings into now we're busy every weekend with whatever.
I think these are great suggestions to get us started.
you can write all that down.
I've got notes.
You got it recorded. though.
I've got notes, and if
The other thing I'm sure-
if our recorder is
Then-
working, at the very least, we're live,
Then the
so.
only thing that I really don't want to see the survey done is saying, what do we need? Because then you say, well, we need a Walmart, we need this, we need that.
Yeah.
Our community will not support that. So we've been down that road before. Let's try to gear this thing to something that we can support.
I mean, well,
The thing is, and you gotta have, I'm not saying a specialty, but just like when the rabbit came in.
Exactly.
Our very first pop,
right,
the rabbit. We didn't have something like that. No.
Right.
And boy, it took off. Now we got, let's see, the rabbit, then the other one, and I think we'll have.
I was going to say there's talk
one
of
more
another
there.
one as
One more
well.
That is,
I
Yeah.
heard that. Oh, my goodness.
yeah. So I mean, that's the thing, how you get things started, because that guy that comes in with the vegetables or the candles or whatever, if he does really well, he might think, okay, I really want a permanent place to expand my business.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then,
We
If-
help them grow.
and then
Help them grow.
if through marketing, let people know, hey, we have this business in the downtown. Maybe, the redevelopment commission, maybe not necessarily be the ones doing the marketing.
Right, but they should
But
be brought
we
in.
could provide them, kind of a guideline,
Here's what we're
here's,
looking for.
here's WKBI. I would, you could advertise with them, or, go on the morning show with Rich or whatever. Here's the newspaper, here's, kind of to help them sow the seeds for success.
And once they get, you get that plan that they're gonna put together or whatever, then if people see the construction, what it's gonna look like, and they can picture themselves, maybe, oh, I could put something in there, could you, I think that people will respond well to something like
I
that.
think so
More
too.
so than, I think it'd be great if you could have like a little park and have like you talked about, and have a band or whatever, and have fire pits in the winter if they wanted to do that. That would be fabulous, but something like that is something we don't have, where we have it's sort of kind of a pop-up store. You'd say, where they just come in, and if they don't want to be there next year, then somebody else can take that spot.
Sure.
I just think, we need to look at it that way, I think.
I like that idea, and to the mayor's point, that is a large space there, because I've been just sitting here thinking about the buildings that were there before. That was a
It's-
lot of square footage.
It is a decent sized.
So it's possible we could have,
It'll anchor that
a
corner.
little, area with, and I'll defer to the architects, but room for the retail piece of this And okay, here's a community gathering area as well.
Mhm.
It's possible we can do both.
You know, speaking of that, I wonder if people are thinking, you know, people could think, I don't know whether, and that probably would work for the city, but you know, if it's built well enough and you've got like grass and trees, bushes, people could just have like, I don't think you'd get married, but you know, different things that you could have a community, somebody wants to just have a small party or something,
Sure.
like they do at the park, you know, and it's small enough that it.
And I hope it leads to another problem, which could be parking. But that'd be a nice problem to have, is that, hey, we got too much. Now we gotta find a place where to,
Well, you know, we do have that parking lot that we're working on
yeah.
getting it compliant and
I mean, it's just a great
Safe
space. The mayor's on the right track here. And do we need to go ahead and appropriate any funds for this? I'm looking at the mayor. I mean, should we go ahead and say, hey, look at proceed and we're gonna give some money to get some drawings done?
Well, yeah, you can set an amount, and what I'll do is I'll call
And kind of get
them,
a,
and they're gonna come down.
Yeah,
They're
so-
gonna come down and look at
it's
it.
gonna be about this much and appropriate this much and then get a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, South Bend.
yeah, they're out of there. In fact, JPR, both of them have offices out there.
Well, since I was gone and I didn't hear this part, when you guys had that meeting with the council, did they come up with anything?
that, not really. I mean, just, you know, wow, we need to do something with that space, but nobody jumped up with
Yeah.
any sort of big visionary ideas.
Jeff had a very nice building.
And I can tell you right now, with Jeff's, that building concept, I do like, the overhead doors.
Yeah. I do.
You know, I really do, you know, but that can be all possibly in the design of what if we're putting up, you know, because if you take that length and the width, depending on how big you want these things, you could probably get 3 pop-up stores in there.
Mhm.
They're not gonna be, you know, huge stores. I mean, because a lot of times these stores, they'll sell the products there, but also you take their card and you can order them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of them do that. I've seen where I've been.
You can just bring a small amount in and this is
They-
what we have and, you know, then you can order them, you know,
Well,
or call them up and.
They do a small amount of the retail out of that, and
Right.
people actually then, you know, they get on their website or whatever, and if they need more or whatever. So I mean, it's, you know, I mean, is it going to be a gamble to do all that? Yeah, because it's not going to be cheap. You know, it could be a gamble, but sometimes in life you got to take that gamble.
I'm sure it will work.
Yeah.
I feel like in this
Maybe not overnight, but I'm sure.
community, we have,
The feeling about it.
I feel like we have enough people who do things that are small business oriented that right now just live in an online space. And they will go to festivals and pop-up markets and things like that. That I think they would at least be interested in having a discussion about getting into a more permanent space, especially as Mike said, if you can do it as a cooperative instead of, hey, you are 100% responsible for maintaining this space. If somehow,
City would take it over.
you know, or possibly work with a group like Main Street United to figure out how to plug all of that in. And this is just thinking out loud right now, but I think there would be an interest in doing something along those lines. So is that how we want to proceed then?
I'd like to see.
We don't need a motion on that right now. We're just discussing what the mayor come back with. Hey, to continue our discussion, looks like it's gonna be about this much to get a visual. And we can appropriate money at that time.
So the next, we're getting a quote for renderings. That sounds good. Any other thoughts? Anything else on that? Next on our agenda, signing of vouchers. We have vouchers.
Oh, we do.
And this is for the record, accounts payable in the total amount of $52,749.82. And that is for the Sledding Hill insurance bonding, and then removal of the concrete pad footers and foundation down at the 18 South Main Street, and we paid our taxes. So do we need a motion to approve the vouchers, or we're just signing them? I don't think we need a motion.
You don't need a motion because every one of those expenditures we already approved.
I was gonna say that they're already approved, so I'll pass this around so we can all sign those. There's a pen for you, Mike.
Sledding Hill's gonna be ready to go.
I can tell you right now, the grass didn't come in like, we had such downpours in the spring and just washed a lot out. So I don't know, but I think what we're going to do,
Can we sign it?
we're gonna have to redo it.
Oh,
And I think what I want to try to bring in more dirt. I don't want that hill as steep as it is. I'd rather feather it out more so they have more of a ride. Well,
I'm just thinking about speed.
Hey, we used to go down that hill 90 miles an hour and run into each other.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
lots of good memories there. Yeah, just that tree.
Also,
What's your timeline on that? Do you think that
we're gonna let.
they're gonna do it yet this year?
I'm gonna try to get that done this year, but we'll still let them in the winter time. I mean, grass or no grass. So, I mean, right now we're planning or not, well, I'm planning, my activity director is, August, I think it might be August 2nd. He is working with a company and we are going to be doing, with tubes and water.
Oh.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And what it is you buy plastic,
Yeah.
you buy plastic to
Lay
make
it down and.
the shoots, and then you get that, and then we gotta have water. So he's planning on August 2nd, I think, to have that. So, and then we'll see how that goes. Then we'll see how fast they come down, and we'll see if we need to feather it out more.
Just out of curiosity, what's the liability on that?
I'm not gonna tell like that.
Yeah, we'll have the police
That's gonna be
department over there
great.
running radar on them, how
Oh,
fast they're
boy.
going.
No, the thing is, that when he ran that by me, I said, Dennis, we're not ready, there's no grass or nothing. Well, we got some grass, and, the more I thought about it, the more he talked about it, because, his kids have been to Mishawaka, used
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and kids have a blast. And so I figured this would be a good test. If you can pull this off and get a lot of kids coming down, now naturally you have to pay, because we gotta buy all the material.
Right, okay.
So, but it's not that much. He's gonna run 2 sessions, I don't know what time frames you'll get. I think he said 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours per session.
Okay.
So, you'll get 3 hours for $20. So,
Have they done anything about, I haven't been up there, so shame on me, but are they doing anything about a little warming station? Whether it be a fire pit or anything up there yet, or
no,
any thoughts?
No, here's what, getting off, no, this does pertain to RDC, because I might be back for more money. But anyways, what I really wanted, I think I showed you all the video of, the sledding, what it should look like, where you can use it in the wintertime, summertime, whatever, with that, some type of, surface, whatever, very expensive, about $130 per linear foot.
Wow.
So I know Mishawaka is going with that. So basically, I applied to,
Was it DNR?
no,
No.
IED, not, is it IEDC or you did the canoe? You did
Yes, that was the.
ICDA.
Yes,
I
the
see.
destination development.
Yes, and when I inquired about it this year, naturally, with a lot of grants and money, it didn't get funded.
Right,
Probably didn't fund it.
and that's
I
unfortunate.
just got an email last week that they were.
Nice.
So we only have a certain period, so I gotta find somebody to write the grant. You know, I'll check with Curbs here or something. And then if we write the grant, then we're talking, we're talking a building, small building up there to do that,
Okay,
you know.
so that's really the long range plans on this.
That's a long range.
Yeah.
That's the long range. Short range is putting plastic on the hill, having a garden hose, putting George soap in.
You probably have more kids down there than you will tomorrow.
I hope we do. I mean, here's the thing is, people, your average person, that doesn't, not people sit on boards and involved in all of that. You catch how, you're some 50% of the people, yeah, we like that sledding hill. What are you spending all that money?
Yeah, of
You
course.
know, why did you do this? Why did you do that? You're spending too much money. Hey, quality of life, people.
That's
will go,
right.
yeah.
You was down there with the stage, with the concession stand, the restrooms that are there, the facilities are all there that are laid out. Now we're going across the other side of the road and taking in a different season.
That's
Which is
right.
great.
And that's what I mean. All of that adds up near. We just had
Quality
a
of
couple,
life.
we had a couple last week. Come from Michigan. I don't know what town they was coming from. They were scouting Knox out because they're coming tomorrow. Went down to the park. Seen the splash pad. Well, our kids are gonna have fun on that splash pad.
Yeah,
That thing has just.
Oh,
And that's what it's
been
about.
fantastic
And then
amenity.
eventually they'll move down.
Well, the thing is, you gotta have that kind of stuff to encourage people.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, the thing is, the goal was, when we first started back up here, is to change the perception of Knox, Indiana. Because we always not, Stark County, Knox didn't have the greatest perception.
Right.
So we wanted to change that. So when you come into Knox, wow. And that has happened. I mean, we get a lot of compliments for a small city as we are, what we have, how clean it looks to a lot of people, because, get back to the subdivision. They pulled, I think, 10 permits. They've got 1, 2, 3, I think there are 4 shell. I think all 4 might be sold.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, wow, that's great.
I mean, they're having no problem selling their house.
That's wonderful.
That kind of
What
looks.
does that,
And they're
what
the
does that tell you?
Well, we've done that all along.
Yeah, you build them, they will come.
Yeah.
And they're young families too,
And.
There's,
which these other amenities are gonna appeal to.
Yeah, well, parks are such a fundamental thing. Parks and walking trails and a walkable downtown and quality of life. That's so important. So I think the sledding hill is gonna be a great addition to all of that.
It's gonna be good for our children and adults that use it, that can still use it. I'd love to go down that hill. I don't know if I want to take a chance of breaking my bones.
I was gonna say, I think we
Or my
need,
hips might separate.
I think we need an RDC outing.
Yeah. We need a private session.
Yes, we do. And we might need a paramedic standing by.
Yeah, I went down there as a kid. I took my grandkids down there as a kid. But why do we have to charge? Where? Are we borrowing the money?
Turn this meeting.
Well, we don't have any other business, so
Sorry about that.
You wanna call for
I
adjournment?
was gonna say, do we have a motion to adjourn at
I will
5:12
make-
PM?
I will make that motion.
Motion by Earl, do we have a second?